This week on Jerkin Around, we're talking about making love.
And lioness.
And
medical.
Choosing the right doctor.
Yeah.
And sternies.
Sternies.
I want to talk more about Chevy's, but we're going to be appropriate today.
Maybe next week we can talk about Chevy's.
Teisha's more of a banana split girl than we thought, Dana. We got into the details with her men, and it's like not even vanilla. It's like not vanilla. It's like hot fudge and cherries. And
no.
Yeah. She acted like she was all. No. And it's not that. It is
Crystal
so
goes,
not.
I just pictured you laying there like.
Yeah,
and
with
I
the
was
dog,
like, no,
you know.
I'm shoving things. I'm like, I mean, not things. One thing. I'm not into the things. I'm into the one thing, not external things. Just one man's thing, my husband's. Like, shoving things sounds like I'm into toys. I'm not into that.
It's just getting worse.
I know. It's fine. It's fine.
I think we found this week's clip.
It's just, I'm not doing weird things. But I guess Chevy's is weird. I don't know. I think
let's.
Kyle wants to try Chevy so bad. He's always telling
It's not like a one shove. It's like a whole
shoving.
thing. Like constantly.
Shoving ease. there is, yeah. It's like, it's shoving for a bit, not one shove. Not singular shove, plural.
I can't believe it.
Oh,
it's like a constant. And I can't read.
And so I told her, and she goes, oh. She was like, oh.
Well, there was
I
words.
didn't know
there was words with it too. I'm like, what the? This is like a whole nother world. She is a lioness.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh.
So making love.
Yeah.
Back to that.
Yeah.
That's why you don't like saying that. Whatever you're doing is something different.
No.
All right.
Oh boy. All right. Let's dive in.
I'm dying.
Oh boy.
That was so funny.
Do I say anything?
Oh my God, we're just being normal.
Oh, jerking around.
Do you want to get your headphones? We'll nail
Crystal takes her shirt off. Stick around. Should we say it at the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Jerkin Around. A podcast with Teisha and Crystal. Welcome to Jerkin Around, a podcast with Teisha and Crystal. Guys, we were recording the other day, and then we had a big fight, and we had a full blowout. Dana was sitting here trying to help us. She's our new counselor.
Yeah.
She's charging us cheap for the counseling session.
Yeah.
It's not an add-on. But it was a whole fight. So then we couldn't record that day because some of us were emotional. And we're back. So we had to reschedule. And I was pissed about that, remember? I'm like, I have a busy week.
Yeah.
But we're back. Jerkin Around is back. It almost went away for a minute.
Yeah, but it
we're
didn't.
back.
Yeah, we're here. So
it's like a marriage, you know, when you spend this much time together.
I think because we do work, we do the podcast.
And people think we hang out. It's not like we're hanging out. Like the other day, I didn't want to hang out with you, and then I still was with you the whole day.
Right. We never hang out for fun.
You know?
We're always together, but never for fun hanging out. It's always
people think
work
we're doing fun.
We're
not having fun.
I would say it's 90% real estate, 10% podcast.
70% real estate, 10% cheer. I feel like cheer is a big part of it.
Yeah.
If we did baseball together, it would put us over the edge.
Yeah,
we would
it's like
fight a lot
every
more.
minute. Yeah.
But we're back.
We're back.
There's taking it all.
Is it all coming in?
Yeah, because they're all texting back, so I'll be looking down.
Yeah.
But we're back. We have a few things we want to talk about. Because we were going to talk about a few things the other day. We had a whole lineup set, which we never do, and then we got in the fight.
Maybe that was what was wrong, is we had a lineup.
We did have a lineup. I was like excited to talk about a few things.
And we never have a lineup.
But let's talk about Suits right now, because it's so good. So Suits,
is it still on? Like, is it still being made? It's old.
No, but they're talking about bringing it back. Did you see? Yeah. They're talking about a new season.
I'm not a Meghan Markle fan.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm not.
She's not that. She's totally different in the show.
Really?
She's a minor character.
Okay. I felt like it was her show.
No.
But do you know when they made it seem like it was like Meghan Markle from Suits? Like,
What's
I felt
his name?
like.
Oh, I love him.
Harvey. Yeah.
Harvey is like my inner ego. Harvey makes me want to be a better realtor. Harvey's why I yelled at someone this morning. I swear. And I yelled at a few people yesterday.
They're
oh my
about lawyers, right? Attorneys? Okay.
I yelled about that new realtor. We were trying to buy a new build yesterday. The realtor wouldn't call me back. I'm getting crazy. The market is hot. People don't know it. So the agent didn't call me back. all day. Because again, it's a competitive market. So I'm stalker calling everyone around her to try to get this agent to call me back. And she didn't have business cards. So sure enough, we went in there. She handwrote some because they didn't have hers done yet. And she had the handwritten cards already.
The poor thing.
And I was like, oh, she got in trouble.
Yeah, she got.
I felt bad. But Harvey was it like, you don't understand. Suits is so good. It's lighthearted. Really? It has a good plot. And it's funny. Like, it's just you don't like dark, and no, I'm getting tired of dark. We just finished
Ted Lasso, so we need a new one. Like, did you watch
It's Ted not Lasso? Dark at all.
Yeah.
See, I feel like Ted Lasso might be more funny. I haven't seen it, but my reviews of Ted Lasso were strong. But I feel like as Americans, this is a bold statement as Americans. I think we're looking for lighter things. I think social media can be heavy, the news is heavy, everything's heavy, the shows are heavy, and Outbreak or Outcast, or what's that show you hate? With the drugs?
Oh.
Outlander? No.
No, I love that.
Ozarks.
Ozarks, and the other one, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I'm just feeling like I'm a drug dealer. I need to hide. They're coming for me. It's like you're scared, you know?
Yeah, I don't want that.
Suits is not that.
No.
Suits is like, it's so good. It's kind of like...
Is it like feel good? Because that's what I liked about Ted Lasso.
There is like
every
a lesson,
episode ended and you like felt good.
No.
Did you like The Good Wife?
Okay, so I did watch some of that. I did. It was like entertaining.
And I think Suits is more entertaining, but
I feel like it's like Law and Order SVU, but not. Like how it has a story that you go on. Like you could pick up SVU, season 3, season 4.
And this is the same?
Yeah, like because it's like there's a different story every day, but you would miss like the relationships. But it's like so good. Like the banter is so good. I'm like, there's season 9, and I'm tickled to have.
There's that many seasons?
Yeah, and we're doing the stay up late. We haven't done the stay up late in so long. Kyle doesn't want to go to bed.
I feel like if there's a lot of seasons, that means it's pretty good.
You hit play again when you should be going to bed. Play next.
Oh, we do that all the time. Yeah.
Yes. See, usually he's going to bed.
Sometimes I'm like one more and he doesn't want to, and then I have to be like,
what do you do?
Yeah, you know.
If you do that, I'm sure you go right to bed. You seem like a right to bedder like Kyle.
Yeah.
That like puts him to bed. It's like a binky for a baby.
Are you up? Well, you gotta go do the bath.
It's like having a double shot of espresso for me. I am up. I'm like, what are we doing? Should we clean? You know, I hate it. That's I don't like it at night. I'm a nighter.
Yeah.
But I don't like because if it's too late where I'm almost asleep.
Yeah, it wakes you up.
This is naughty, but
I don't like the night. I'm a dayer. Middle of the day.
Sometimes I don't know if this should be on here. But
oh gosh.
I'm like real quiet at night sometimes, and I feel like he wants to more, and I'll joke with him, and is it because this bee's finally quiet? Like, you know, I'm not being like, yeah, yelling about everything. I'm like, you almost want to more when I'm almost asleep.
Yeah.
Because he's like, finally.
Shut up.
Yeah. No, the bee's night-night, she's going to shut up and take it,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Ben says that to me. Swear to God.
Shut up and take it?
No. No, but he'll be like joking around. I can't say it. I can't say it.
No, I felt like I couldn't either. But the jerky's like the real. That's our juju.
I can't say it. So
you have to say
like, shut your... I can't. It's like, it's too wrong. He'll be like, in a joking way, because I don't ever shut up. I'm always telling him what to do. He's like, shut up and just...
I think it's because I'm finally quiet.
Yeah, no, Ben, he always is like, oh yeah, just shut, like joking around. Yeah. Not like dead serious. And
jerking
it makes
around
us laugh.
Or joking around?
He's joking around, jerking around. No. Oh boy.
Okay.
So good.
Talking about marriage though, this was a topic we were talking about, and talking about taking it, like you just said.
Wait, but Suits, did you finish it, or you just want to say it was good?
I just want to say it's good.
I gotta start watching it.
I just think America's telling us they want lighthearted shows. Because it's like like it's insane. It's an old show.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how much Netflix has control over what you watch. Because if they put it as #1 right there, everyone in America's going to watch it.
Yeah.
So if you piss off Netflix, it's like pissing off Amazon. You're screwed. One time I was talking crap about Amazon during COVID. My Amazon, I'm still not logged back into that account. I don't know what happened. So now I'm acting right, Amazon. I love Amazon. I'm not going to talk bad about Amazon.
Oh, that's
but we do have to gear up, The COVID is a thing coming around again.
Yeah, especially with the lighthearted. I'm really going to try this go round.
So this is round 2 to act right.
Yeah.
This is your chance.
I'm not going to let it consume me. I feel like last time when everyone was at home, social media was like consuming and all the stuff out there. I became consumed. I'm trying not to get consumed. The stupid political debates. I'm like, this is all on purpose for us to bite.
It's for us to fight. It's like ants.
Exactly. It's like they're putting it right in front of us and we're all just biting. And so I'm not taking the bait.
So I was showing a client this week, someone that's very, very important to both of us, very important person in our life, and she's looking at moving in this area. And I've heard a stigma about like North Peoria. Like it's like the Stanford Wives, and there's North Peoria Group, and there's this like stigma that
Someone
North Peoria.
said that to me about
Who? Oh.
Yeah, about West Wing. She's like, it's just like whacked what's going on in there. And I'm like, I think it's because there's a lot of involved moms.
They're very
so
involved.
It's like
Liberty's like that. Liberty.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Tonight,
it's amazing.
big game.
Oh, Hamilton.
I'm all, no. I got my lion pasties. Like, what are we doing? No, I'm just kidding. I don't. No.
Roar!
Yeah.
The lion.
Yeah, that's what you feel like you need to there though. It's like,
There is this stigma, but the stigma is crazy because, so we found this amazing house. And she says to me, swear to you, I don't know if I can live with all these conservatives. And I said, what are you talking about? So we very much have different views. I'm not afraid to say I'm a conservative, but I've grown in the last 2 years and being not fighting conservative, because what I've learned is that most people in my life that are liberals, when we sit and talk, we agree on almost every issue.
Right.
It's so stupid that we get behind these masks of if you're a conservative or a liberal, whatever, who cares? And I said to her, why does that matter? And how do you even know that? Well, I Google it and it shows you in Arizona where everyone is. And she's like, there's a lot of conservatives out here and I don't want to fight with my neighbors. I go, you're not going to fight. This is asinine. I said, what are you talking about? This is so crazy. But I think older people watch the news a lot. And she's older, and I think they hear it all day, and they get mad at each other, and we had the best talk. And I said, we love each other. And I said, I don't give a crap what you believe. I don't give a crap what side you are on. I don't care if you believe in this or that, if you like guys, girls, I do not care, but we're getting so lost in that side. Years ago, you didn't know what people were.
Or the labels. You
didn't know if you were, and you know what? I might be conservative on some things and a liberal on others. It's so stupid.
Right.
It's so stupid. So I think this is our next chance to do this right. We have an election coming up. We might have COVID coming up, and let's try to be better. Let's try to not pick a side. Let's try to not repost things that aren't your own feelings. What does a repost do? I was reposting, but what does it really?
It just gets you fired
It's a
up.
one-way fight. When someone posts something and I can either fight back in the comments or I sit there and I'm just aggravated. It's like, what does that repost?
It doesn't
does it
accomplish
change anybody's
anything.
philosophy? So I'm learning. Thanks to Kristen to not act. So I'm going to act right. And I'm going to hope that you're going to act right this time too.
I can't make any promises, but I'm going to try.
But we have to love people. And we had this best talk about it.
And I don't care what I love everybody the same. It's not like.
I think it got personal because for both sides, when somebody had somebody very sick in the hospital or lost someone, and then somebody said, COVID is stupid. I think took it personal. Like, this took my family member and you're like not taking it. I think it almost was.
Or when you're in fear of your own life and then someone is discounting that fear, that is very personal attack. When
this is Apology Tour 2023 for Teisha and Crystal.
But when I'm saying that something is, if I'm not agreeing with a policy or a something, it's not
personal.
I'm not discounting your fear. I have fears that other people don't have.
A lot.
Totally.
A lot
I'm scared of a lot of things.
Like a lot.
But I don't remember what I was saying. Shoot. Dang it. I just started thinking about my fears. I'm all the plane. I'm supposed to go to Turks and Caicos in December, and I'm scared to get on the plane without my kids, if we're talking about fears.
And I'm not judging you by your fear.
But I'm saying, and so what happens is, let's say I don't agree with a policy of kids should wear masks at school because of the research that I've read about how harmful they are. But then someone sees me post that, they automatically are scared and are wearing a mask because of their own fear of getting something and something bad happening. Maybe they had someone die, or maybe they're just scared because who cares? Maybe they aren't. And so they automatically think that I think they're stupid. It's like
it's personal.
And I don't. It's just like I don't want my child to wear. So I think when you post things about your beliefs, so many assumptions are made about how you feel about other things, about how you feel about other people, and then it just creates so much hatred and so much
because it's one-sided.
Right.
You consume it, but you don't get to rebuttal it. Like, that's texting sometimes. When you get a really rude text, it's just like, I try to calm down and call. Because in work, I will get an email or I'll get a text that really fires me up, like Harvey and from Suits. And I have to get my mind right before I respond, because if I respond with emotion, I'm going to regret it. But if I respond in logic and love, ooh, that sounds so good, but it's true. Logic and love to kind of come to a common ground, even with other agents. It's very seldom that I get in a fight. See, we're back. I'm back to real estate, by the way, guys. We didn't quit. A few people text me, don't quit. You know, you're really good. We're back. It was just a moment. But if somebody, you know, a lot of times you get along with the agents, even though we do things differently, because we find common ground. What's best for our clients.
Yeah.
But when someone's trying to screw, remember that one guy? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're gonna act right this next COVID.
Yeah.
Anyways, so going back to marriage, I want to talk about marriage because it's my favorite. But we were talking about taking care of the boys like babies again. We were talking about Teisha.
Oh, Ben was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And Crystal was like, you need a date night. And I was like, I don't want to spend another minute with him because he's driving me so nuts.
Yeah, you know when you're bickering about everything.
So Ben does this thing, and I hope he's listening. He doesn't listen, but I hope he does listen to this episode. But he is like, first of all, he's like the best husband and dad. He's very hands-on, which I know some women don't have a hands-on husband. So I'm so grateful. But what happens is he wants to do it all. He's a lot like you. He wants to do it all. So then I kind of just check out because
he's doing it all.
He's doing it all. And I'm not going to fight you for it. But then he gets annoyed with me that I'm not helping in whatever but he like wants to do that. So then if I do start helping, he'll be like, I'm not doing it right. And so then I'm just like, oh my God. But anyways, he was bugging me.
All week. I heard him in the background.
He was bugging me.
I was he's really
and then he's like, it's like he's always yelling at me about shutting the garage. It's so dumb. So when I leave in the morning to take the kids to school, the younger kids that go later, he'll be leaving for work at the exact same time, but like it's never the exact same moment. It's like 5 minutes. So he'll be like, leave the garage open like I'm leaving right after you.
Yeah.
So like he'll leave before I even get back. So what happens is I'm pulling out and I shut the garage out of habit because in my mind I'm thinking about getting the kids to school, what I'm doing after that, the 5 things I got to do for work. It's like I'm not thinking about, shut the garage. Like, it's so dumb. It's like that. I'm not like backing out, shut the garage, shut the garage, shut the garage. Oh, you know, or leave it open, whatever. It's so dumb. So what happens is I just shut it by habit. And then he calls me and he's like, why'd you shut the garage? The garage is going to break. I'm like, the garage is not going to break. And if it does,
mine is broken right now. Because
I'll pay the $200 and I'll fix the garage. Like, who freaking cares? Like, it's so dumb. I'm not going to stress myself out about the garage because I am worried about someone not getting a house for a lot more money than a $200 garage. So it's funny because then the next time he's like, you didn't shut the garage. He has the app on his phone, so he'll text me and he'll be like, the garage has been open for 47 minutes. And I'm like, I can't get the damn garage right. I'm either shutting it, I'm either leaving it open. So who cares? He's like, all our stuff's gonna get stolen. Like, it's so
always says that stuff.
Stupid. And again, I'm like, what are they gonna steal? Bike? Steal a bike. They need a bike then. Like, I'm not gonna stress myself out about the garage. Like, if someone wants to come in and murder me in my open garage, I sound like you now. She never locks her car, and I'm like,
if they need a car, let them have it.
I'm like, can you please lock your car?
Don't come around my house though. We have guns.
No, so do we.
Yeah. She doesn't care.
No, but she won't lock it. And she's like, well, steal it, and I'm all, oh God.
It never gets stolen.
But anyways,
so you and Ben,
he was bugging me.
Get it out. Dana's here.
Did you go on a date night?
Yeah.
Yes,
so I told her
we
you
did.
need a date night.
The kids were bugging us, and we had scheduled a movie, and we canceled it, and we went on a date.
And then how was it?
It was good. Then he wasn't bugging me anymore.
And then what'd you guys do after the date?
We high-fived.
You didn't because you were too tired.
Where did we go?
You said you didn't.
Where did we go on the date though? I can't remember.
Carambas, the margarita place.
Carambas.
And her favorite.
I know, and he doesn't like
He was just excited she wanted to go on a date, probably didn't care where he went.
He just needs attention.
Yes. That's what happens so much though. I know. But guys are worse, I think. I think they need...
Oh, 100% worse. I never need a thank you. I never get one and I never need one.
And let me just tell you, because I'm Ben, he doesn't want you to help him. He just wants you to acknowledge how great he's doing at getting everyone ready. Helping him is like the opposite of what he wants. Oh, great. Like, I don't want you doing it. I want you to notice how well I'm doing it. So just so you know.
Emphatically
tell me how great I am. I'm never mad at that. Yeah. So what do you think? How am I doing?
Yeah.
No. But
you're such a great podcaster.
Yeah, you haven't told me that in a long time. So
no, you are.
Okay, forget this.
No.
Your hair is looking great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She likes the hair like this. But no. So you went on a date and then it was better. But I think sometimes we talked about marriage a lot in the beginning. I feel like we were really doing better ourselves. Like I was doing better because of the podcast. Because I'm that coach mentality. If I tell someone to do something, I'm going to do it. And you did good too, even though you pretend you didn't have goals. But then it's so easy to get aggravated with each other and you forget you got to go back to basics. Like, what are those things? A few hours together, a show together. For guys, the sex category is a big deal if you're married.
Yeah.
It's a big deal that they feel wanted. Not just that you...
But it's hard to want to do it when you're not on the same page.
Yeah, I'm like, this jerk.
But
you
sometimes
know?
that's kind of what you need to get back on the same page.
And
I
Dr.
think-
Laura said the greatest thing the other day, though, and I'm not trying to sound deep, but she's like, I know I need to have sex more, and Dr. Laura was like, it's not sex, you're making love, and I'm not trying to sound, because making love makes me feel weird.
That's a lot.
But it is. It
For
makes
this
me
Friday
feel weird.
morning.
But then I'm like, why does it feel so weird? I think because our society doesn't look at it like that. We look at it as like an act of
Like
non-emotion.
getting off. Yeah.
Like getting off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not supposed to be.
morbid rush.
Yeah. And I think as women, when you're
And like,
married.
get yours. It's like, no.
Yes. Yeah. It like really like, because I was like, oh, we're making love. Ugh.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that's so, years ago when I was little, everybody called it making love. Sex was like with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
It was like my mom was very making love with my
Yeah.
dad.
I was all, get the visual.
He's older too, and they're
Mickey-
still doing it.
the Mickey
Yeah, we had
toy?
a Mickey doll between our bed, my parents' bed always. My friends
Between
would
the
be like,
headboard and the wall. I'm like,
it's
why
like-
is there a Mickey up there? Because the headboard would bang.
And if you think about Mickey, like they're old. They don't care about
It was like a
Disneyland.
stuffed animal. I
Like
was
Kourtney
all-
Kardashian, I could see her having a Mickey.
Yeah, oh yeah.
She's like, or like Sally, you know,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
loves Disneyland.
Yeah.
My parents don't love Disneyland. We never even went. And then there's Mickey.
We'd always see the Mickey
We'd
and
be
we're
like, oh,
we
and
know.
then we'd see Mickey like to the side and we're all, oh. But my parents really get after it. But they're very loving to each other. And I think as women, we've talked about this before, but when we've had, you know, I haven't, but when you've had sexual partners that weren't your husband, you've given
It's not making love because it's like a straight,
making
it's
love.
like a rando.
Yeah.
Or like,
And then, so the act of having sex feels cold and you feel used. But if we rephrase it that we're reconnecting again and that we are making love, it's very even hard to say. That's the way we need to look at it as women because we think they just want the sex.
well, remember our pastor talked about what happens chemically to both men and women's brains and their whole body during sex and like how the different chemical reactions happen. And it's so like, it's truly like a physical bonding, a chemical, physical thing that happens when you have sex with your husband that bonds you.
Yeah.
And it's like crazy.
Do you think that's why your dog likes to watch? He wants to be bonded as well?
Maybe.
You cut that one too.
Oh, Dana cut it.
I know, it was a good one. No, but it's so true.
He
It's a
doesn't
big
watch.
deal.
He's just next to the bed. He doesn't he's not like eating popcorn, you know.
Well, you said he was paws up.
Well, he's jumped up before when it, like if I'm to the side and he thinks I'm saying hi to him, you know. And I'm like, no. And Ben's like, get out of here, you know.
Why does he get so mad?
Well, if he's not in the room, he's hitting the door handle the whole time, and I can't relax because I'm like, is that a kid? Is that the dog? And so just let him in.
Did you lock the door?
Yes, it's stressful. He jumps up and hits the door handle the whole time, and I can't like get
relax.
into it because I'm like, who is that? Is that Fox? Is that Nash? And so just let him in, and like, you know, he's all,
He's all woo woo.
yeah, you know, who
Does
let
he-
the dogs? Fox the other day. He goes, I learned this new song, and then he starts singing, who let the dog? And it's just so funny. I'm like, where do you even hear that song?
No, but going back, I think that sometimes though, as in married, for me, Teisha doesn't want us to be advice givers. I'm just giving advice in my own life.
I just sometimes don't feel adequate
To give advice. That was part of the fight.
I don't have
Part of the
everything
fight.
figured out.
I don't have anything figured out, but sometimes I figure some things out and I want to share because in a month I'm going to forget I figured it out for a minute. Just like when we were doing the dates in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Things were good. They were getting better. We were digging each other. We were laughing more. Then life got busy. I forgot. I listened to the podcast. I was like, oh yeah, I got to get back to that. The date night and the sex. And I think for women it's initiating it too, not just taking it.
Yeah.
That sounds bad, but you know sometimes when you're like, I don't
they
care.
feel
You
excited
can do
if
it.
you initiate.
It's almost like he's with whoever.
Or initiating the date, because sometimes I feel like as moms, you're so focused on the kids that they feel like back burner. And if you initiate like a date, Ben gets real excited. I'm all, do you want to do a date? He's all, oh yeah, you know. He perks right up, you know.
Yeah.
But also, when they're bugging you is when you need it the most.
Yeah.
But that's when you don't want to do it. But I feel like like we always say this, like about like movie stars or like people that travel for work, like the more separate you are from your spouse, the more comfortable you get being separate. So like it's important to always keep that bond, and when they're bugging you, if you keep going in that direction, it starts out small, it can like go more, because the separate, you get comfortable with the grouchy tone or the short replies or the not spending time together, and then it just keeps going, and then pretty soon it's like past the point of repair, when like if you would have stopped it here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I had the best talk with a client this week about
time out really quick, I do want to hear this. Do you think Fox choked on a snack? No, right?
Do you want to go check?
Yeah, go check. I'll tell
Is that
the story.
weird? He was eating Gushers, and I feel like they're like...
Okay, just go check. Talk about fears.
Sorry,
Remember we
I
were
know.
talking about
I have a huge choke. Ow!
I don't judge you by feeling like Fox choked.
Thank you. Real quick.
Oh, she has that choker thing from Instagram?
Fox, are you okay? Okay, love you.
Thing you like, because she saw the ad, you know, she's a big swiper.
I've been seeing it. It's
He's
probably
okay.
because she bought it.
I bought
Yeah.
the choker.
It's
Yeah.
on mine constantly.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. No.
You love it. Have
No,
you used it?
I love having it.
It's
Like,
all, shove it in your mouth.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Why do you
I'm all, it's a multi-purpose tool. No, it's not. I'm not into that stuff.
No. So what
But
I
I'm
was
not
saying-
judging if you're into that. But
oh
I'm just
gosh. Oh, there's so much to say about that in a second. But what I was saying is I talked to this client of mine who's older and been married a long time. And she was telling me, we were just talking about all the things. And she's like, you know, in life, you know, her husband's older and he has like some health issues, and she's become such the caregiver for not only him but everyone in her life, that she's just so on empty. And I think that's so sad as older people. I saw these two people at Mayo the other day when I was there with my family member. They were both in walkers, and it was raining, and they had to park so far, and she has her walker and she's waiting for him, he's getting his walker out, and they're taking turns. She's holding an umbrella with the walker, and I was gonna get him, but I didn't know if it would be rude. You know when people are like, we're fine. It was raining.
Especially
they were
like
walking.
proud men.
Yes.
Oh, that makes me
But I
sad.
was like, it's hard for me to take care of Kyle now. Imagine when you're both in pain all the time. Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
So she said, you know, I became like the caretaker for everyone. I'm on empty all the time. We just get short with each other. And we started being roommates, not partners. So she said, I made a decision. We're married. We're going to make this work, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can be miserable every day and be mad. He can't really go anywhere. We can't really do anything, you know? And so she's like, or I can be lucky I have him, be lucky that I have someone that will support me and love me even when we're home.
Yeah.
And I can start treating him like a man again. Because sometimes when you are like the caretaker, you kind of are accidentally demasculating him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're more the one doing everything. So she said, you know, Crystal, I just started rubbing his back when I'd walk by him. And, you know, I would just give him a kiss when I got home. And I'd just say, you know, you look great today. And then he started doing the dishes. And he started saying that meal was amazing. And then he'd walk by me and rub my shoulder. It's making me cry.
Me too.
And she's like, and now we're like in love again. Because we just started making an effort. She goes, I didn't want to. But in my head, I knew I needed to do something because this was my life. Yeah. I could either be upset or I could make this work. And she goes, and now we're like dating again. We smooch, we kiss, and we're enjoying life again. And yeah, do I get frustrated that I don't have that life? Especially for older people. They're on Instagram and Facebook all day.
Oh, yeah.
They're on it all day and they see other people living these lives. And she's like, but I'm so lucky to have him. It was so telling. And I was like, how easy those few steps. And then Dr. Laura, the deep dive last week was so good. It was about when to staying in a marriage that's done, right? And she talked about if it's not abuse and it's not cheating, you should stay for the kids so they don't have to go house to house. Not judging if somebody is going house to house, but I think if you're in a situation where you want out, I think that's something to think about. And she said and they were like, no, we're done. Like, we want out. What do? We want to stay in the same house because that's what you say. And she goes, you stay in the same house. You don't fight around the kids. You don't argue. You're still a united front. And she said, and when he's making dinner, you rub his back. And when you walk by, you give him a kiss on the cheek, knowing they're like separated. She's like, those little segments will change your whole life. But always be respectful in front of the kids and do those little things and you'll see each other change. And I was like, I don't think she's just trying to keep them married. I think she's trying to save their marriage secretly by just telling them to do those little things. But how often in your busy day do you rub your husband's back when you walk by him in the kitchen?
Yeah, no, not very often.
Yeah. So anyways, her deep dive was just so interesting. She encouraged so many people to stay so that kids don't have to go house to house. And they still see a united front of parents. And they still need to see you being loving to each other.
Yes.
Not maybe in a sexual way, but just in a human being way. And I was all, ooh, sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
What? Did you pay the bill? I don't know why. You know, it's just so much business. Like, get the kids, do this, do that, and then by the end of the night, they get our last when they should get our first.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like I fall into the trap of like, do you see what I've been doing? You rub my back. Like, I've been doing this.
I just got home too. had a crazy day.
And
I know.
That's not a healthy mindset either.
No, it's hard. And I was at dinner the other night with some girls, and we were talking about the jobs, because there's the women and the men that think that these jobs should be this and these jobs should be this. And I'm very traditional in that way. I do the things for Kyle, but I also think that in 20 years ago, one person worked and one didn't, and it was easy to give all those home jobs to the woman. And I think now whatever works in your marriage works, but if you're both working, it's something to discuss so that you aren't building these resentments.
Right.
You know?
And when you have a lot of kids, it's kind of like just
chaos.
Like, yeah, like who can do what? You know, it's not as much like this is mine and this is yours, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and I think if you're thinking about getting married, it's important to kind of talk about those jobs, because we did a marriage class and we did go over who we thought was going to take out the trash, pay the bills, and this and that. In my family growing up, my dad did everything. It was...
She's going to say a lot like Ben. He doesn't do everything.
No, I know, but my mom's jobs were different.
I plan all the vacations. No.
That's a big job.
It is a big job.
It is a big job.
No, you do a lot more than that.
No,
People would be like, wow, Teisha, you know, that's like when... Is like, today I got my eyebrows clipped and it was a long day, and I'm like, really? Certain influencers, you know, I'm like, you're so tone deaf to what people are going through in life.
Yeah.
Because you post and make money, and it's cool. I think that's excellent, but I think you also are losing touch with, I'm not saying you are by saying that.
No,
but
I was
I'm
joking.
saying that's not the truth at all.
No, I do a lot.
But you have different things. My mom ran the house. My dad did the other things.
I do all the homework, all the kids stuff.
Yeah.
He's just more like, he loves things to be very certain way at home. He's very tidy and organized in that way, so he likes to be in charge of certain things at home, and I'm like, knock yourself out, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought Kyle would do some of those things, because that's what my dad did. And so we filled out this paper, and he checked me and I checked him, and I was like, well, what the heck? I don't want to do all those jobs. And they made us like,
because in Kyle's family, his mom did all that.
Everything. And his dad doesn't do anything. So we had to like talk about it. And I remember when we were first married, I was like, you said you'd take out the trash. Like, I remember, like, because he never takes out the trash. And still.
But it was good. It was like at CCV before you got married. It was like a 8-week class or whatever. And you went like, and it was talking about roles and expectations, and how what you grew up with is what your expectation is in your mind. And then when you get married, they have their expectations, you have yours, and then they don't match up. And then you think, oh, I married the wrong person. When it's like, that's not it. You're just each coming in with your own
expectations.
And so it's important to talk about that before you get married, so that and it's important to be yourself before you get married too, and not be like doing all these things, and then once you get married, you're like, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. It's like, be yourself, and if you really don't want to do that, then it's something to talk about. Or like I don't want to put the sheets on the bed. It's not happening. I've never done it, not even when we were engaged.
And I think sometimes with the way things are going down these days, when you do live together, I think sometimes when you live together for more than a year or two, you're still tap dancing for the ring. That could be like a phrase. But you're wondering if he's going to marry you, so you're doing all the things to get him to marry you. You're going to be the best homemaker. You're going to be the best. You're always giggly. You're always fun. You're like wanting that marriage so bad that you're doing all these things, and then you get the ring and you move in. I've seen people live together for 10 years, get married 6 months later, they're done.
Right.
Because I think this is my opinion. I'm not a self-help guru, as Teisha stated Tuesday, when we had the fight. We don't know anything. But I do think I've seen it with friends, or we've all done it. And it's like, I'm doing all these stupid things with that boyfriend, and that's not who I wanted to be.
No.
I wasn't myself at all, and I've seen it in marriage. When even like when you and Ben, when you first got married, you were trying to do the thing. I'm like, oh no, she's way sassier than this. Then it came out, and they were happier with her being herself than they were with her trying to be what she thought society wanted her to be. You know, Ben's fine doing the things. He prefers to do the things.
Clearly.
And Kyle prefers to have the things done.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't be, I don't think Kyle would be happy if he had many jobs.
But Kyle steps it up.
He's the provider.
When he needs to.
He takes care of the whole house. He does the bills. He does other things too. I just can't think of him right now, but he does other things.
No, he
works
does.
his butt off.
Yeah.
So he's the hunt and gatherer. I'm very into that.
Yeah.
Like the guy works till 10, 11 at night, so I can do everything else. And he does Broxton.
Yeah.
He like all his sports.
Yeah.
He's gone a lot. He does a lot, but the other stuff he would, but I know it doesn't make him happy. But doesn't mean I still can't be his girlfriend. That's Dr. Laura's biggest thing is be his girlfriend, flirt with him, laugh with him. You guys are really good at, I think that's what the IES is like your way of like flirting with each other and like watching a show together. Teisha and Ben are very religious about, they're very religious about their bedtime.
Yeah, we love our bedtime.
It's like a big deal. The kids go to bed at like 6:15.
Oh, last night? No.
6 o'clock maybe.
No, not even. No, but we were in bed last night and it was 8.
What time?
It was 8:40. We were
The
already
whole
in bed.
house is asleep.
No, not asleep. Just like their kids are older now, so Bear needs to go to bed by 8:30 or he's a mess. But
Bear gets
CJ
up at
can
about
go to bed whenever
4:15.
he wants. Yeah, Bear is like right away.
When he spends the night, I'm all, remember Bear, we're sleeping in.
Yeah.
That's the other day,
Yeah.
6:15, I'm like, Bear. He just doesn't, he's so trained.
So,
But he's that kid that wakes up early no matter what.
so
if
he's
you
a
let him
mess
stay
if he
up,
goes to bed late.
It's bad.
But Ken and CJ, they can go to bed whenever they want, whenever they're tired. And
So you guys just go to bed and they put themselves to bed?
yeah, well, they come in, or we say goodnight.
What do you mean? You were just saying they come into
Okay,
your
so
room.
last night.
Journeys.
No.
Yeah.
So wait,
Yeah,
last night.
tell us what
so
goes
we're
on.
watching Lioness. Have you guys seen the show Lioness? It's
No,
like
you watch weird
Zoe.
shows.
No, it's like
Yeah, like
it's on Netflix. It's like about a special ops team.
Oh, I'm into that.
It's good. And so, anyways, but the girls like. So I told Ben I'm a lioness, and so I was doing sternies last night, and I was like I'm a lioness, It was really funny. But no, so last night we're in bed watching Lioness, and it's 8:40, and Kennedy walks in, and she has her computer.
Oh, I was
and
on the
I
phone.
was like raging. I'm like, why are you walking in here with your computer right now? First of all, you're supposed to get your homework done right after school, which she had tutoring after school, and then I left because I had to go to something, and then she didn't do her homework, and she's supposed to. So now you're asking for my help during our, like, if you want to put off your schoolwork, that's your choice, but you're not going to come infringe on our showtime.
I agree.
We're really into the showtime, and that's like our time together. Ben got home from coaching, we've done all the kids, and now it's
time.
our time. And so we are sticklers on that. That's our sternies and lioness time,
So they just come in and say goodnight?
So no, we put Fox and Bear to bed. And then CJ and Ken are usually, Ken's doing her skincare routine. It's like, what's going on? You don't even
the
have a
kids-
zit. It's weird.
Yeah, it's all the kids
It's a
are into
12
it because of the YouTube.
12-step skincare.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have one step.
I got it from Eva.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, but
My
like,
girls
it's an
do it
hour.
too. I
It's
don't
an
know
hour
either.
of
Hudson
skincare.
had so much highlighter on today. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
No. So Ken's
Yeah.
doing her
He was, like,
skincare. So I'll
glistening.
go in and say goodnight, pray, goodnight, skincare, have your time. So then sometimes Ken will come back down and say goodnight, but she came back down to do, and I think she knew she was in trouble because she's all with her computer, and I was all, I was a lioness.
Yeah, the lioness came out. So I gotta go.
Yeah, I
And
was on.
oh, can't run!
Yeah, I was over here on the phone about work, and I was all, I don't want to scream at her with Crystal on the phone.
I hate that. She used to do that.
Yeah, I sometimes I forget people are on the phone, and I'm
Yeah.
yelling at whoever.
And
I'm a
then
yeller.
oh, can you hang up?
Yeah, and it's awkward for people, but so I was all, what are you doing? And then Crystal's all, I gotta go.
And I was like, the lioness is out.
And Ken's all, why do you care if I do it? Why can't I do it right now? I'm like, you can, but you can't ask me for help right now.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm done at the end of the night. But my end of
Yeah.
the night is a little later, but...
Well.
But anyways, I've tried to do that more, make it more of a priority. And like Sundays, I'm really good about Sundays. I've really been doing no big to-do lists on Sundays because I really believe in that day of break, and it makes me start my week so much better. We watch a family movie every Sunday night. We have dinner. It's like, because the rest of the week I can't control it because everybody's going at different times. So Sunday night is like my night. It's like the habits book. You got to just put these habits in, and I feel like one day they'll pay off. That's what I'm hoping. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to do shows because I don't go to bed with Kyle. He works and I pick up late from cheer, so I don't get home till like 10 and he's asleep.
Yeah.
So we don't have show nights those nights. But anyways, there's been a lot of sat around. A lot of reminders. Kyle and I had that talk last night about like what matters in life, because it's so, we had, I think that's fair enough. It's pretty public news what happened at school.
Oh, yeah.
One of our teachers' husbands passed away. It was a freak accident at the shooting range. If you saw the IRS agent, and it was like such a freak accident. They were an adorable couple. Their family's amazing, very involved in church. Her daughter's one of my daughter's best friends. It's just like in a second, your whole life can change. So as you, like for me, the last couple weeks I've been with my aunt. It's my aunt who has cancer. I think that's kind of known by now. Oh, we're going to talk about that in the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like such a good reminder when the work is so stressful. I think that's why I wanted to quit that one day. The work is so stressful. The kids are so stressful. The busy is so stressful. I think it's so important to realize that those things don't really matter. As much as they feel like they matter, life can change in a second. So with the crack bowl, we're still dealing with that at our house. The cracks are big. We're fixing it. It's expensive. Kyle's still in the fetal position.
Is it fixed yet?
No. It just keeps like more and more money. And he's just losing it. You know when you've already saved and you've already spent. And now it's tapping into a very dark space for him.
Yeah.
You know? And like things are slowing down a little bit. So he is just like very dark. So I'm trying to just keep it light. But church was really good about trusting God and faith over fear and all that. You didn't think it was as good, but I did. But my aunt, I got to talk about this because it's so crazy. So she has, we're just going to say it because I've talked about it alluding. She has a cancer called UV melanoma. It's very, very rare. It's like 2%. And it's very, it's a metastasizing cancer. So it's very serious. And it's it's not curable. It's treatable. Whereas we can try to minimize how fast it grows, right? So that was the appointment I went to a few weeks back when I had to record that day and I really didn't want to. And that appointment was really serious. They sat us down in a room and told us that it went to her liver. That's what they were watching for. You find it in the eye. She went to a random eye doctor appointment and they saw a black spot and it was this melanoma. And within 2 years, it usually goes to the liver. And then once it goes to the liver, because it's a major organ, it kind of goes to its friends around and your lungs. So it's a really, really big deal. So at that appointment, I'm just going to say it all. He said she probably has a year. So my uncle passed from lung cancer about, I think it's 5 years this year, the same exact time of year. Same exact time of year. So that was really triggering for her. So we're in the appointment. He's like, it may be a year, but we have some options for you. His bedside manner was excellent. And he said, we have some clinical trials. So as soon as we're done with that, the nurses come in that are just for the clinical trial. And they are already handing her pages and pages of things to sign. It's crazy how fast this all was moving. But she asked him even, I'm supposed to get a colonoscopy, should I still get that? And he said, no, go ahead and cancel that. That doesn't matter. Meaning like, it's not gonna matter.
Like you're gonna die.
Yeah, it was you're gonna die like very soon. It was very, very scary. So that's why it's been very hard. So I've been going, that's kind of my thing in our family as I go to the doctor's appointments. In both families, I feel like I'm pretty good about just going. And I kind of remember stuff. That's like an area I do. Not everything I do. So anyways, we went, they were going to do all these clinical trials that were really crazy. They had a lot of side effects. And to me, they just didn't seem fitting. Because I'd ask, what is the likelihood that this is going to add time to our life? One was, they don't know. Because only 4 people have done it and 3 of them couldn't handle it. That wasn't reassuring for my 75-year-old aunt. Yeah. And then another was 7%. But the side effects, as they sound minimal, they didn't sound minimal. Do you know how they word it? Well, it's just diarrhea, nausea, skin rash, and it does inflate your major organs. Inflate, what's it called? Swell? Inflammation. Yeah. Inflammation. They mentioned lung. They did not mention heart. So I'm like, can we just get into Mayo and see, let's get a second opinion, blah, blah, blah.
Well, you were like, don't sign today.
Don't sign.
We've just gotten this horrible news. Let's process and think.
So then they had an appointment with her the next week. It was a 4-hour appointment. They went through each page of the disclosure. They were going to fly out all these people for this clinical trial. And I just got a weird feeling. I was like, don't sign. You can always do this, but let's learn some more. You know, and you're not supposed to Google and believe everything, but I do believe in Googling and learning what questions to ask, learning what other treatments people are doing. Yeah. Some we asked to do just radiation just to the liver instead of doing something over the whole body because it would be less invasive and the side effects would be minimal. And he was like, oh, okay, that's probably a good idea. Like, okay. No big deal, you're the doctor. But okay, yeah. So we did that. So we go to Mayo on Monday. So my aunt, I love her to pieces, but we're kind of all living it up, right? Like my brother took her to Vegas.
Like I got a year,
yeah,
you know?
Like we're a big gambling family. She's been going to the casino like any day she wants. She's like, I don't care anymore, you know? Kind of like I'm telling my cousin to quit her job. Like this is it, you know? Everybody's like, we're living like you were dying, you know? Like everybody's living it up. She's literally like, Crystal, I've never spent that much at the casino. I'm like, go for it, you know? Eat what you want, drink what you want, live, you know, do whatever you want. So she's doing this the last like month or so. So we finally get into Mayo and we go and it is the most it's sad because our insurances all don't cover Mayo. It was a completely different experience. Even at this other doctor one day, my cousin had her kids and they were in the living room, or in the waiting room. Braden's like 6th, 7th grade and the little one's like it. My Quinn's in preschool, but they had iPads and they were sitting in the waiting room while they were in the appointment. They called her in and said, you need to go sit in the car with your kids. They can't be in here. And I was on speaker because I got the appointment tongue wrong. And I'm yelling through the phone, heck no, she won't. She doesn't have childcare for today. Her mom has cancer. Find a place where they can all be. She's not sitting in the car and missing the appointment. And my aunt's going to sit there by herself listening to all this. So sure enough, they found a conference room a second later where they all could be because they heard me like a crazy. I'm in the notes. The niece, like I'm in the notes. Anyways,
there's a picture of you up at the hospitals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm the one that's not, nuh-uh. So anyways, we go to Mayo. They're so great. They're so nice. The doctor comes in and says, I saw you were going to do all this clinical trial stuff. I'm really glad you didn't. None of that's FDA approved. They don't even match with the type of cancer you have. The radiologist they were going to use isn't even the right radiologist for the type of treatment this is. It was like two worlds. He's like, yeah, we're just going to do radiation to the liver. We're going to kill that spot. It's an inch. Then we wait and watch and you live. And it might come back quickly. It might not. I mean, there's no reason to put your body through all this when we don't even know what this is yet. And we're like, time of life. He said, he goes, no, we're not talking like that yet. We're going to treat the liver and then we watch. Like totally different. I go, well, sir, we got to explain to her she's not on her way out because she spent all her money at the casino. Like I'm joking, but it was like this totally different vibe. He was not acting like she was dying. Nothing was like that. And we were talking on the phone because I called her after. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what if Kelly did quit her she did actually move jobs so she could have more time with my aunt. But like, what if she sold her house? What if, like, and now it's, I mean, it's
or what if she would have signed on for the trial?
Yes.
And then now she dies
because
of
it
the
would have been toxic to her body, mixing those two drugs.
Oh my God.
The toxicity in those two drugs probably would have.
I think it's important to be educated and educate yourself. Like doctors know a lot, and I do think most of them have good intentions. I do think there's some that might get skewed from different promotions.
Yeah.
They are incentivized to make certain recommendations.
That's just crazy too, like how something can be so different. And even if, and with Lincoln we had this a lot. We had two different sides, right? The ones that were like, my niece was very sick in the womb, and they were like, we don't think you should take this to term. They really were pushing her on that. The baby's not going to survive. This is going to be very hard on you. The baby's in cardiac arrest almost in the womb. You should not take her to term. And then the other doctors were like, it's the same diagnosis, just said differently. Yeah, she might not make it, but she might. She might not, but she might not. She might be okay. Like, it was like there was hope in the second doctor. And even though that road was still hard, we had 18 months with her, like, or 13 months. You know, it was like we had, and even in the hard moments, like at Stanford, that's where this doctor did his undergrad, or his doctor thing was at Stanford. That's where Lincoln was. They have just this different way to do medicine. He sat with her. He held her hand. She cried about my uncle. Yeah. And he was like, you know, we have cancer psychologists that will help you with your mind. Because the mind is so powerful. And if she's thinking she's on her way out, she's telling the body we're on our way out, right. It's not going to fight the same. You know, and he's like, I think it'd be good for you. She's crying. My husband, he listened for an hour. The care and the treatment is so important, not just your diagnosis. Yeah. So I was like, we got to tell people. You never know. I mean, this is, and still, it's a very dangerous cancer, 100%. But she can enjoy her life a little bit more now. Like, we all feel like, I was like, I can't go anywhere this year. I got to be with my aunt. And I'm still going to be with my aunt. But you can live like a life.
Well, I don't even think it's healthy for your mind to think that you have a year left. Well, the same thing happened with my mom. Luckily, she was so stubborn.
Yeah.
She went in and they were like, okay, you have 6 months to live. And you can do this treatment. And it might help, but it's so late stage, it probably won't. And they were like, you don't have longer than a year. Basically, you're at the end. So she left against medical advice, walked out of the hospital. I had like 8 doctors pull me in a room. I was all, and they were like, if she leaves, she has 6 months, she's not gonna make it. And she left and lived like 5 years, maybe even a little more than that.
It was crazy. Teisha was like, she went home with Teisha and she's like, I don't want her to die in the room. Like, we thought it was literally any moment.
They acted like if we leave, and she felt so crappy in there. She's like, this is like out of it. Yeah. She's like, I need to get out of here. And so she's pulling things out, walking, and I'm all, oh God, you know? Yeah. And then.
So she thought she was going to go a few days after she left the hospital. Because that stuff was keeping her alive.
Right, but it wasn't. Her mind was so stubborn and strong, and she was like, no. And she lived 5 years. Like, from a 6 month Like, and she didn't change any habits, so she could have even maybe lived longer had she have, not smoked still, or, there's so many different things. But it's crazy how doctors are wrong all the time because they're human. And God, sometimes in medicine, God is not factored in. And like, God already knows when we're all gonna go. So like, if he wants you here, if they tell you 6 months, if he wants you gone tomorrow, or if he wants you gone in 10 years, that's when you're going. So it's important to
have that bedside.
Yes.
It's just the same
and just be
diagnosis, but such a different experience.
Yeah.
It's so important. Just like it with your realtor, I'm just
Just anything, really.
No, it is anything. But they've talked a lot about cancer at church because our pastor's wife just recently was diagnosed with cancer. And it's really crazy because my aunt got diagnosed, my brother-in-law has thyroid cancer. And then every week at church, it's about cancer. It's like the craziest thing because of his wife.
My brother-in-law, everyone has
it. But he said that in the moment he found out about, here we go, she's scared. We're fighting.
Let's talk
fear
about
over
all
faith.
the chemicals and all the EMF and all the 5G.
Stop, we're gonna do better.
I know.
No, I don't care. You can
contact me privately if you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't disagree, but I'm saying the point is,
scary though.
We know how this thing ends. First of all, we're all going to heaven, so it's okay. But he talked about how his faith got stronger in the fight, and that's like so cool when you live like that, because it's so important you live for the real things, not for today's things, because they're not what you're left with. Yeah. So, Sternies for everyone.
Sternies.
That got deep.
Sternies increases quality of life and longevity.
Good to do that to your sternum.
No, I know.
The
Fox even does it now. He'll be like, Sternies, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we teaching? He's going to be at school doing Sternies.
There was another IES that you said.
I know, there was something that happened that it was so funny.
And I was like, I can't even believe you said that. I'm going to say poppies.
No.
For Papa's Dream. It's so good.
Creamies?
Okay.
Papa's Creamy?
Oh gosh, it turned. Okay, I think we could sum it up. We're talking a long time.
That must be someone I'm not super close with.
We're recording.
Oh, like right now?
Yeah. Do you want to be on?
Yeah.
Kyle's our biggest jerky.
No, he hasn't been listening. Kyle?
Oh, I am a jerky. Sure. Am I really on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah,
you're live.
like Bonnie was. Oh yeah.
You're live.
We talked about making love today.
Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have anything funny to say because Dana's going to have to cut this out.
Ow.
Okay. I'll call you when we're done.
Okay, I love you, Brian.
No, did I tell you how Ben was talking to a potential client, and it was someone, Crystal was like, oh, you should talk to Ben, and then he's talking to her, and she's like, oh yeah, I listened to your wife's podcast, and he goes, oh great, so she's probably thinking about shovies the whole time, and he's like, how am I supposed to be professional with these people when they know about shovies? And I was like, oh God.
I did want to go into more detail about shovies, but not today. We're ended with that highlight.
How did Teisha come up with those names, Bear and Fox? Are those their legal first names?
Oh, that's nice. So Bear and Fox. So when I was pregnant with Kennedy, Ben and I were watching TV, and Bear Grylls, that show Man vs. Wild, was on. And I was like, Bear, oh, that's a cool name. So we named him, so we were like, if it's a boy, it'll be Bear. Well, it was a girl, we named her Kennedy. Then when we found out we were pregnant with a boy, the next time, we just knew it was Bear the whole time. Fox, we did not know.
She was real nervous for Fox.
I wanted to name him. I had all these names. Ridge was one of the top runners.
From the book.
Yes, from Colleen Hoover
book.
Oh,
Ridge.
I liked the name Ridge, and it was like woodsy,
They're really big hunters. Teisha hates the woods. But
I do like Tahoe, nature. I'm more into nature now.
5-star hotel.
Yeah.
It's not the woods.
That's
a nice hotel in the Pines.
I like to be in a 5-star hotel in the woods, not in a tent. But so we really liked Ridge, but something about it. And then I had followed this photographer on Instagram, and she had 2 kids. One named
swiped up, basically.
One named Swayze and a boy named Fox. And I was like, Fox is so cute, but I was like, is it so dumb to have a bear and a fox? Yeah. And it is kind of weird, but I don't care. So we were going with Ridge, and then it was like right at the end, and I was like, no, I think I like Fox, and I just don't care what anyone thinks.
She was nervous. The only reason she didn't want to do it was because of what people would think.
I thought people would be like, why are you naming your kids after animals,
They do, but you don't care.
I don't care. And it's not really in my personality to care.
I tell people Kennedy's name's like Lioness.
Lioness, that's my name, right? So yeah, so that's where they come. But that was a great question. That was nice.
Yeah, Tisha loves the questions. Keep
I
them coming
love the
in.
questions.
Look
yeah.
at her, she perks all
I
up.
know. What else do you want to know?
Disclaimer, we are not advice givers or licensed counselors.
Yeah,
She's real
seek
worried about
professional help.
Yeah.
We're not
You
professionals.
can share the disclaimers at the end of every
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I know, it's good.
If you're really struggling, please reach out to a qualified professional, because that's not us,
We're just here to share our journey
and to make you laugh
and cry
and pick your nose.
and touch your boobs.